That's right. Welcome to our 80s series, Big Hair, Big Hopes, 80s Rom-Com Rewind. This week we are breaking down 1989 rom-com with Ione, Skye, and John Cusack, Say Anything, currently streaming on Hulu.
Welcome to the RomCom Rescue podcast, a brand new podcast where we bring the love and life lessons from your favorite rom-coms. I'm Kira Sabin. I'm a healthy dating educator, a certified coach, and a positive psychology practitioner. But more importantly, I spend my days teaching the skills and mindsets of dating.
And I'm Dr. Isabel Morley. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and an EFT certified couples therapist. And I help couples have the happiest, healthiest relationship possible. Join us weekly as we break down the best love lessons from your favorite rom-coms so we can all get into the best relationships possible. Because we believe that we create our own happily ever afters.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are officially back, and we're not just back. We are back with a series. It is summer break, and we've decided to go back to the 80s and spend at least the next 4 episodes, maybe more, breaking down some of the best 80s rom-coms. And that's questionable, I'm not going to lie. Best 80s rom-coms still have questionable lessons. But we're going to have fun with it. And if you come over to YouTube or check us out on Instagram, you'll see we are in full costume right now. It is fantastic. It's a lot. Please come on over and see us. But let's get into this because, I mean, I have so much to say because this is part of my childhood, teen years world. And you're just like, what the fuck was this movie?
I'm so confused.
Let's go. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you thought.
The best part of our series is that you've seen these movies. They mean something to you. I've seen none of them. I'm coming in blind. Here's the one thing that I'll say. I left this movie thinking, what just happened? And I still don't know. I am not sure. I was so lost the entire time. Like, it's supposed to be light and funny, and there was some funny moments, but then it was like very serious. Lloyd is in this scary montage, driving around, talking to himself. And I also wasn't sure. What everybody's role was. Like, okay, so she's smart and bookish and naive and out of touch with the teen world. But was he cool? Is he not cool? Is he like?
I think he's just Lloyd.
Well, what's that? For a second, I thought he was like
Okay.
the cool kid who was bringing in the nerd into the group. But then I was like, oh, but maybe he's not cool at all either. And why is he obsessed with her?
So when I say what is your overall takeaway, you're like, huh? What was this?
And here, I'm waiting for the boombox scene. Because I've heard about it my whole life. I'm waiting for this boombox scene. He holds it up.
It's a very classic scene.
And I'm imagining she goes to the window. Oh, Lloyd, it's amazing. Runs out into the grass to hug him. The boombox scene leads to nothing. He just stands there and does it, and she ignores him. And then it goes to the next scene, Kira. I was so confused. Why is everyone obsessed with the boombox scene?
Okay, well, so let me preface a couple of things here. Number one, so this came out in 1989. I was 16 when this came out. So I was pretty much like in the age range to watch this. Mm-hmm. So that's number one. Number two, John Cusack is my end-all, be-all 80s leading man, right? Like his fast-paced talking, sarcastic humor, vulnerability. It is my jam. It is my fucking jam. I love it so much. I also need you to know my love for Peter Gabriel is beyond huge. I actually walked down the aisle, everybody, to In Your Eyes classical version.
No,
I am
really?
not even joking. Yes,
Oh my
I did.
gosh.
That's how much. It's not in a church. I got married in Mexico. but that's how much I love Peter Gabriel. This was the beginning of my Peter Gabriel love that has now lasted since 1989. And yeah, like, so I have, I'm sure, 1,000 blind spots, right? And to me, Lloyd Dobler, which is a character in this, is just a part of the teen culture of the 80s, though, right? Like, he is just, if I say Lloyd Dobler, most girls, Lloyd Dobler and Jake Ryan, most 80s women will be like, oh, right? Now, Jake Ryan was in 16 Candles, which we will never do because it does not hold up and is terrible, completely terrible. But Jake Ryan was every girl's crush in 1985, 86 when that came out. But then when this came out, everybody was like, oh, Lloyd Dobler. Everybody wants a Lloyd. So, everybody wants a Lloyd. And I know you and I both know now that no, not everybody wants a Lloyd. There's some weird shit going on here. But unfortunately, in 1989, this looked good. I think that's what I have to say. I think that this looked good for a guy.
Part of my confusion, though, is that I like John Cusack too, and I thought he was attractive in this, and I was like, oh, I totally see the appeal. I can see it, but I can't quite feel it. And like he would be my vibe of whatever guy I would imagine that I'd be attracted to. So it's right there, it's almost there, but I think I was so confused about the nature of their roles and their relationships and why her dad took up 90% of the movie.
I know.
And his transgressions with the law. It just, the pieces didn't quite fit together for me. They didn't fit together. But I'm on board with John.
Right, good. So I will say this. This is probably my least favorite, or one of my least favorite of John Cusack's 80s movies because it's so heavy. Even when I was a kid, I saw this in the theater with my friends, and the whole dad thing, and then her relationship with her dad,
which is
we'll get into that in a minute. It was super weird, everybody. I don't know if that's enmeshment. I don't know what we want to call that, like an emotional dependency. But there is some weird ass shit going on there. But I remember feeling, and I am probably going to say this more than a couple times on these episodes, is I was pretty naive and immature. So I actually probably related a little bit to Diane because watching this, I was like, she is so naive. She is so just not ready for the world whatsoever, which is how I felt. But I just remember watching this and not loving it when I was in the 80s. I loved it more now because it felt so heavy and the father conversation was so much. And like, I think I was still such a good girl. I know, it's true. It's true. The 80s goes there, man.
They're in jail talking to him, and they're on an airplane. I was like, what is happening, people? I feel very whipped around in this world that they're in.
I know. So to me, and I had to tell Izzy the last couple of days, I'm like, you need to know that this is looked at as like one of the best movies of the 20th century.
Everybody loves it but you.
I know, like it's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's out of the 100 movies that you need to watch in your lifetime. Say Anything is on there. But I want you to know, I watched it twice. I rewatched it this morning. And I fully see it, right? I fully see, first of all, before we go into overall love lessons, we do have some questions for each other.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We do have some questions. I think we should get to them. And then we can go into love lessons because I have a lot of thoughts about the weird amount of movies in the 80s that had these obsessive crushes that we thought were okay.
It's cute.
But we'll get into that, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think you have a question for me. I have a question for you too. So what do you got for me? What do you got?
Okay. This, I think, is going to be very telling. So, first of all, Lloyd would definitely not make it as a professional boxer. That's not happening. But
he's kickboxing, by the way.
Kickboxing. Oh, that's so much better. That's much more likely for him. If you had to date a professional athlete, what sport would you pick?
This is great. So, first of all, it would be nothing where my partner was famous, right? I would not pick football, basketball, any of that shit.
Hockey.
Zero interest, right? I'm talking like
shot put,
badminton, maybe curling.
Can you make a living off of being a professional badminton player, Kira?
You didn't say that they had to make a living off of it.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just saying that the last thing I want to do is watch my I don't think the fame that comes along with being an athlete is very, it's
not good for relationships.
Listen, it's fucked up, right? I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to encourage somebody to date somebody who is gone half of the year. Their career is going to be the only thing that you basically do for years. And the pressure, honestly, just the pressure on athletes to perform. I have zero interest in that. When people are like, I want to date somebody famous, I'm like, I want to date somebody not famous. I want to date the opposite of famous because there's just so much bullshit that goes along with that. So I'm telling you, I would date maybe younger version of me would want somebody flashy. But Kira now, I'm like, he can be the king of Foursquare, right? That's where we're at with it. Maybe tennis? Tennis feels like okay, right? Because it feels a little bit more controlled. They can still make a good living, maybe have a life. I don't know. What about you? Sorry, I'm just like talking. What about you?
I'm loving this. I did not expect badminton at all.
Tetherball?
Oh my God. Ping pong. Great.
Exactly.
I think I would pick a swimmer because for the same reasons of like you have a little more control over your profession, your life, your training. My concern with professional athletes is the fame, the temptations to cheat. There's a lot of infidelity. There's a lot of mismanagement of their own money. It's a lot of bad situations they're put in. They're traveling. They can get traded.
Yes.
If you're a swimmer, you have a little more agency over that. A stellar body. Sounds like a great situation.
I was going to say so I grew up in a small town. We certainly did not have a swim team in small town Wisconsin, but my college did, and I had a couple of my good guy friends actually were swimmers. So I would go to meets, and besides the hot, humid smell of chlorine that you have to sit in all day, besides that, it is not a bad sight. Let's just put it that way, to sit there and watch a swimming meet. Not a bad. I think that's a really, really smart go on your part. Yes. Yes. So one of my favorite characters who's giving, by the way, she is the opposite of a dating coach, a healthy dating coach, Corey, who is played by Lily Taylor. One of my favorite characters of all time. She's like, I wrote 95 songs about Joe, and I'm going to play every single one of them tonight. But I feel like not in high school, but there's maybe a point in all of our lives where we like a quote unquote bad boy, which is usually just somebody who's not emotionally available and that doesn't treat us very well. But did you ever have a Joe in your life? Did you ever have a person where your friends were like, don't do it. Izzy, don't do it. Yeah, you're just going to get hurt. Did you ever have that?
Oh, yes. I had a Joe.
You did?
His name began with the same letter. He was in middle school who kind of drifted into high school, but it was classic. He's there, he's not there, we're together, or we're not really together. He has a house party and doesn't invite me, but invites everybody else. I have
rude.
You have to write yourself a letter freshman year of high school that you then open at the end of high school where I went. And in my letter to myself, I wrote about how I was dating him and blah, blah. It was so great. And then you see that I cross it out and I said, in the margins of this letter, never mind. He had a party at his house and didn't invite me. So you're over him right now. Like classic. He was a bad boy. He was like very anti-establishment. He now lives maybe in rural Wisconsin actually and has like a farm. He like took a whole different direction from what I expected in life. He's got a farm. He like ran for a local office. So random.
If you guys would have stayed together,
I could
then
be on
like
a farm.
in Wisconsin, and we'd both be living in Wisconsin. This feels like
we were so close.
Feels
if you
like
hadn't
a
had
missed
that party,
opportunity.
I know.
You wouldn't have had that damn opportunity, and you were more than 14.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just was thinking like, I feel like every person has one person where your friends are like, just don't do it.
Stop it.
Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Not good.
So any other questions for me? A bit later, I was really lame and young and naive in high school. In college, I went to I loved my college experience, but there was 2 women to every man. It was not good ratios for us
Yeah.
ladies. So I just didn't date a ton in college, to be honest. But once I hit cruise ship, there were some
Oh, yeah.
questionables, and then I was drinking
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot. So there's a couple times where I remember like my friends being like, "All right, drunk here, and let's just go back to your cabin because you're making eyes at
Don't do
people that you're
that.
gonna regret tomorrow." And I'd be like, "I'm fine." So yeah, that definitely happened. Those are not proud moments, but hey, they all created the
Yeah.
Kira.
Here you are.
So who is here
Looking
with
fine.
fantastic makeup. So there we go. Let's get into the best and worst love lessons. And I think that there's probably, honestly, as I mentioned, mildly surprised at how this held up for love lessons, right? Maybe not some other things, maybe not some like morality things. Maybe
There's
I'm
some
really
concerns.
there's some concerns I think that I'm probably not even thinking or noticing that you're going to bring up because I do notice as I was watching this and I just smiled the whole fucking time. I'm like, oh, I've got
Oh,
blind spots,
Kira. Oh,
right? Like
yeah.
I
Oh,
have
yeah,
got
yeah.
blind spots because my biggest blind spots are for sure Lloyd Dobler, John Cusack's character. But yeah, I really wished this movie, if it was remade, would focus on their relationship and just like that young love that happens sometimes in high school or just that's
Yeah.
so impactful or that's so exciting and new, which is what I loved that part of it. I think that they did that really, really well. And I think that they showed a really vulnerable side in John Cusack's character that, as I mentioned, like we did not get to see
Yeah.
men portrayed
Yeah.
at in the 80s. We see that character now all the time. But in the 80s, like that, and then Eric Stoltz's character in Some Kind of Wonderful, those 2 characters are my favorite male characters. But they're both like sensitive, nice guys who,
You think, wait,
like,
what? Rewind. You think Lloyd is a sensitive, nice guy?
yes.
Oh my God.
All right, all right. Teach me. Teach me right now that because this is the
Oh,
80s
yeah.
blind spot,
I
right?
know.
This is the 80s blind spot. Now, I can't look at it through anything but like on some level a 16-year-old Kira, right? It's hard for me. Why don't you tell me right now
Let me tell
the
you.
ways that Lloyd is not maybe
The
nice or healthy or the
Okay.
best potential boyfriend?
So
Why don't you
let's
tell all of us?
when we first meet him, and he is so rude and mean to his sister, who's clearly gone through a very hard time. She's a single parent. She's asking for a little help, and he is so cruel in how he responds to her. Like, one of the meanest things you can say to somebody, he just snaps at her with and then leaves as if it was justified. Or he was doing her a favor by letting her know the way she is. And I was like, what? This is our introduction to this man? This is a terrible first impression.
I have no remembering of this scene whatsoever.
Oh, you watched it this morning, Kara?
I know, but I don't remember him being rude. This is blind spots, everybody. This
Yeah.
is just because it's
They
like
have-
siblings talking, and I cannot say how much my love for Joan Cusack continues to. I just
Yeah,
love her so
she's
much.
fantastic.
I love her
Yeah.
so much. But yeah, here's something I do want to say before you go on. He's portrayed as he's like an army brat. His parents are in Germany, right?
Yeah.
So he's like living with his sister to finish up high school in the state. He's actually 19. So he says, I'm
Yeah.
19. Like, I just feel that was not super normal, but way more normal than we see now, right? Where that kind of transient or misplacement where you'd have somebody come into school for 1 year and then leave or whatever. I just feel like that's not the goal of parents now.
Yeah.
That back then, like that was pretty regular. Like somebody would be like living with their best friend for a year while their parents were doing something, or that shit I think does not go down now. Like you just know, right? But
No.
way more common back
Yeah.
then. Just way more common. Yeah, we see he's living with his sister who's going through a divorce, who has a young kid, right? Like he has no roots.
Supervision. Yeah.
And I think he took his roots and he placed them underneath Diane. That's what I think.
And why? Why was he so
All
obsessed
right.
with her? He had no interactions with her, as far as we know, until he asks her out to this party. But he's been
Yeah.
like watching her from afar and can't wait to find a way to date her. And even his friends are like, okay, what? What is happening? Why is this your life's goal? It does feel like he's looking for something to ground him. And he finds this very
Absolutely.
sweet, easily manipulated, impressionable young girl going through a crisis in the end with her father, and she just replaces one male figure with another. But
Yes,
I
you're
don't.
right.
He's going to be a professional kickboxer. This is
So trivia so this was written by Cameron Crowe. It's one of his earlier movies. He created Jerry Maguire. He created Almost Famous. He has now created a ton of pretty quintessential movies through time. And this is a very cult classic and loved movie, but I'm in no denial that we seemed very okay. And I actually had a moment this morning that I'll probably process later of this is where I learned like huge crushes or almost obsessive crushes were okay. This movie, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, all of
Can't Buy
these
Me
are
Love.
Camp Love. All of these movies are one person being seemingly out of somebody else's league, right? The other person having to hustle and earn their worth and their attention. And that's the way I acted through most of my 20s and 30s for that matter. And I can see this is the kind of teaching where I was taught that was okay. I now believe crushes are just another way to be single. Crushes are just another way to remain emotionally unavailable so I didn't have to be vulnerable and try, right? But this is a theme and we were taught it. And I think it's a big Gen X thing, actually. I can't believe how much I was taught there are people out of my league. And so what am I going to do to
To get
win
into
over
their
their
league.
love?
What kind of
Right.
makeover do you have to have? Like
Right. What
magical,
do I
take
have
your
to,
glasses
yes.
off.
I will say that like Lloyd felt like he no, I can't probably
I
defend
know.
most of
They go
his
to the party and he just ditches
actions.
her. They arrive at the party and first of all,
But
is he
he was
high
also
the
the
entire time?
keymaster. He is not. He's the keymaster, so he has to collect the
So
keys.
well,
And
first of
then
all, he doesn't have to be the keymaster. If he's so
you're
intent on
right.
winning her affection, this is his one opportunity. Why does he bring her to a party where she like knows no one because she has been reading books instead of socializing for 4 years, and then he just
And taking like
disappears?
college classes and stuff like that. Here's what I will say really quickly is I wrote down that Diane is overprotected to the point of like extreme naivete, as well as it felt like she was forced to fit in with adults and has no idea how to connect with people her age, right?
Yeah.
Going to that party and just even having conversations or people signing
Yeah.
her yearbook like it was nice to finally meet you or talk to you
Oh
or
God.
whatever. Right. And it was just like, wow. But she works at a nursing home. She spends all her time with her dad or studying. The world is going to be a rude wake up call, especially
Oh yes.
1990 London. It's going to be a rude wake up call for her when she really hits it, because that's you and I've talked about this on this podcast, but just this raising women to be pure and naive, and how I'm watching this and I was like, this girl's going to be eaten alive out there
By
because
Lloyd. Kira, Lloyd is going to eat her alive. Lloyd has more awareness of the world. And I feel like he's not that what's the right word? Because I don't want to say predator, but
oh my God.
as in predator prey, as in she's like a bunny.
I know.
And I just feel like she's sort of like, take care of me. This is going to be okay. You're here for me. And Lloyd's like,
So if I look at this, if I can step back far enough, which is very hard, very, very hard, step back far enough, here's the stuff I see. I see, first of all, that Lloyd has an obsessive crush, and it's really just what he thinks she is versus who she actually is. That number one, why he likes Diana because of superficial reasons. She's
smart.
pretty, she's the
Mm-hmm.
golden girl, right? She's so I know like why he likes her, but I do like the fact later when she started to I started to trust around, there was some really kind of more mature things that I know.
I'm gonna let it.
Reaching so hard, thank you. But you're right, like, and for that, Diane is just, I mean, she 5-year-old.
Oh, yes.
Just like bopping around, kind of waiting for men to solve all of her problems. I mean, and we do have to quickly sidestep into the biggest relationship is in this movie is not her and Lloyd, it's
Her
her and her
dad, who
dad.
is so using her for his own needs for
It's
validation and success, like very narcissistic
totally,
trait, and lying to her,
yes,
truly gaslighting her about what is happening in their life. There is a weird, unhealthy dynamic there. I wish she had lived with her mom or split time between the two more effectively, because she is just living in her dad's world at her dad's will. And then to see this change where then he's obviously caught for all of the fraud and then in jail. It's like her life is in total
right.
turmoil. And that's why I know that Lloyd is there, but they barely know each other. And it just feels like he's like
It's true.
swooping in when she's in this vulnerable moment, and he's going to ride her coattails of success in the way that her dad wanted to. So that's how I really feel.
Wait, tell me how you really feel, because I didn't catch it. No, and you know what? I don't think you're wrong. I think that Lloyd is lost and looking for, like I said, some roots or
Yeah.
some ground. And he sees this like golden girl, this like like, if we could figure this out, maybe. And by the way, people do this all the time while dating, right? We try to date what we view as somebody who is better than us or above us or something like that, just to feel right. We kind of are looking for attractive people because then we think, well, then it makes me look more worthy if I'm with a more attractive or tall or famous or successful. And none of those things actually create love. None of those things create healthy friendships. And, I think that my biggest thing that I will say is that I think that I give this a lot of pass because it just feels like young first love, which is there's a lot of immaturity, a lot of mistakes, a lot of superficiality, right? Because he was looking for somebody to ground and she was looking, but he to save her,
Yeah.
right? Like, because her dad had been saving the whole time, taking, over care of her, whatever, and like making it, I don't know what he was
know.
doing. It was really
Icky.
just an odd. I like John Mahone. I loved him in Frasier. He's a great actor, but I don't know what they were thinking when they wrote these characters because it was so
Unnecessary.
gross
Yeah.
to me a little
Yeah.
bit. Like she had replaced her mom as like
Yeah.
his wife, right? Like, oh, they're cooking together. Oh, they're throwing a party together, or
Oh,
like a little
so
dinner
weird. She
party
answers the
together.
door. Yeah, all of it. She is a little wife to him in a really weird, unhealthy way.
Yeah, he is 100% living his life through her. And then I hate when the choices he makes, he then tells her they were for her,
So
right?
manipulative.
Not that,
No accountability.
right. That's super manipulative. That's no accountability of I did this because I wanted to feel good or, you know, pretend that I was in a different place than I was, whatever it is. But it was just it's the reason this isn't one of our 80s movies. I mean, as much as I love Peter Gabriel, as much as I love John Cusack, as much as I actually enjoyed it even this time around thinking, okay, that wasn't as terrible as
It's too much.
I just that heavy story. So it is, and how then she finds the money and like she's going and negotiating with her mom, with
The IRS
like
agents.
IRS people.
What?
Like she's like, you're just wrong. Like it's so
Yeah.
odd. And not even odd, not be the daughter
No.
or like a 17, not, like she is basically slid as his
Advocate.
like wife,
Yes.
not child.
And this
I
is,
know.
and
Ugh.
I wish they had
That
taken
part
it
was
all
gross to
out and
me.
had him just be an overprotective dad who didn't approve. That it could have stopped there, and that would have been great.
I
Plenty.
agree.
They took it so far that I think it was to contrast how different Lloyd is from her dad and how he's a better choice. But I don't see Lloyd as being different enough for me to not be concerned that she's not just recreating this pattern immediately with another person. So I think that was the part for me that made it difficult. It's like I don't see Lloyd as being the polar opposite of her dad.
He's probably not. She is sliding right into the same role of somebody, basically center of attention. Like, is the center, like, she acts like she doesn't like that, but it's
Yeah.
also what she knows. Being the center of her dad's world, and now she's the center of Lloyd's world. We're talking about how long it's going to take before that instant power struggle or imbalance, because how long is it going to be before Lloyd does just, well, shit, none of this is for me, right? Like, this is all of her all the time. We're now going for her. Like, what are you going to do there? Which leads us into, and I think that there's probably, I'm sure you have thoughts of, will they make it?
Kira, I don't want to break any hearts here, but like in no world do they make it. Or if they do, it's
No,
unhealthy.
they really don't. They're
they're
young,
way too young, inexperienced.
right?
They have so much life to live, so many challenges to encounter. And if they stay together, I just don't think it'll be the healthiest relationship.
I don't, because they're so immature, and because the power imbalance is so large, and because I think both of them have an extreme amount of growing up to do, right? As most of us do at 18 or 19 years old,
Sure.
right? Not just the two people in this movie. Yeah, I think here's what I think would happen. I think that within 6 months, something bad's going to blow up, right? Lloyd's going to make it back to the States. The only way they would make it is years later. If they met back up, maybe
Time
in their
apart.
30s or whatever, after they've lived their lives, owned some of their own, like, grounding, found some of their own worth, and then, but yeah, I fully agree. Because to me, all the passes I gave this was just because young, dumb love, right? Like, I'm just like, at that first, like, we're not making sense. We are
Hormones
just,
are running the show.
But
we're so overwhelmed, which is a
100%.
lovely, which is fun. I will say that first love feeling that is like consumes you and makes you feel crazy because you are so obsessed with them. There's something so cute and lovely and fun about that. It's less cute when you've been married for 5 years and you haven't had a chance to grow and change and be autonomous. So yeah, I agree. If they split, they do some growing, they do some of their own work around their parent issues, right? Of like being lied to and manipulated and neglected and abandoned. And then they come back together. Great.
So if they were our clients, do you have any thoughts?
Lloyd ain't ready. He has got so much work to do on self-awareness, and he doesn't respect boundaries. The boombox thing is like cute, but it's not. She has.
I mean, but it's kind of cute.
I don't think that it is. She was not interested. He's reactive, and him driving around that car.
I know, when he was talking to himself, I just thought that was like a scene of where he's like, and there is not where she broke up with me. I gave her my heart. She gave me a pen, which is a very sick line in this movie. But no, both of them need a lot of maturity, a lot of more experience, and a lot more just finding who the heck they want to be without each other before they can figure out who they are. And we got time. I do have some really fun facts because obviously this movie is very old, but we have fun facts. So I gave her my heart and she gave me a pen was voted the 73 of the 100th greatest movie lines ever.
Wow.
The dojo featured in this movie, so where he was kickboxing, is also the same dojo where the kid was shot. Oh, I love that. During the iconic scene of Lloyd holding the boombox over his head, the actual song that was being played during the filming was another song that was by Fishbone. And then In Your Eyes was added in post-production. So they actually went through a handful of songs before they settled on In Your Eyes. So, and lots of people were considered for Lloyd. Christian Slater.
Okay, then I would have loved this movie. Then I would have had no issues with it. Yeah. Christian Slater.
Hello, everybody. Ready? Robert Downey Jr. turned it down.
What?
Kirk Cameron, do you even know who that is? Kirk Cameron, yeah, you don't need to either, was considered, who was like at the time, and a couple of other people. And then Jennifer Connelly also, I don't know if you know who that is. She was, I think she actually would have. Yeah. And then Elizabeth Shue was also considered.
It's popular.
But I will say for all of my other like 70s, 80s, like teen years people out there, everybody has to agree that this is like quintessential. Like two of the Heathers from the movie Heathers, this movie, Pamela Adlon, who has now gone, China Phillips, who went on to, do you know who China Phillips
I got
is?
nothing. Pamela Adlon.
I know this pain. Why do you lock yourself up in these chains? She went on to do
I
not
don't,
know
but
the
you sang it
song.
so beautifully.
Thank you. Wow. Hold On by Wilson Phillips. That's China Phillips. Okay.
Yikes.
This is heartbreaking, everybody. She does not know this, so this is heartbreaking. I will be remedying this on the other side. There's just a lot of early actors, that kind of thing. And I will say, the guy who they find him in the toilet, kind of the cool, like alternative guy, that is Barbara Streisand.
Oh my God. That's so
Yes.
random.
Yes, yes, yes. And Julia Roberts was also considered for a minor role in this because she was just starting her career.
Whoa. Popular movie.
I know. It was actually a pretty big movie. I think in some ways it still holds up for an 80s movie, right? Do I think that this is teaching the love lessons that we see now? Fuck no. Do I think that, like, I'm happy there wasn't more disgustingness that I see in the 80s movies?
But see,
Yes.
this also highlights how if you watch a movie during a formative time, whether it's your adolescence or post-breakup or whatever,
Right.
it can lodge itself in your heart and become a wonderful thing that you're willing to overlook at the bad lessons for. Because if we watch Overboard, I will enjoy that movie. I will not pick it apart in the way that I would pick this apart because I watched that when I was young over and over and over and over again. It has nostalgia to me. This I've never seen before. I don't understand it. So it's just very different.
I fully understand that. And I think that I think it's good. I think it's good that we come on here and talk about realistic stuff. Like, I can notice that he's pretty unboundaried in this, that I feel like she is just young, naive, and mixed messages. Like, she doesn't know what she wants. She's virtually living for everybody else in her life but her. They have a lot of growing up to do. I still loved it. My rating for overall tacos was 4. Yeah. Like I said, this was not actually my favorite, but it made me happy. Love lessons, I'm going to say a 3-ish. I don't know.
Oh,
that's maybe ridiculous.
God.
I don't know. I'm
That's
not looking up at
that.
at
You know
her
what?
in the
We
camera
went into
at
this
this
knowing
guy,
we were going to
so-
be on different sides of the coin.
Yes.
I gave it a 2 overall. I gotta say, I did not enjoy it. I do not want to watch it again. And for love lessons, and maybe this is too harsh, I gave it a 1. I had a hard time finding good lessons in this movie. But again, like
that's
with my disclaimer that
it might be fair.
have no emotional attachment to this movie. So
I get it. I get it. All right, guys, that is a wrap on our first episode for our 80s series. What did you think? Do you love Say Anything? Are you blind to all of the questionable things like I was? Did you notice all of the issues like Izzy did? Let us know.
tell us what you think. We are dying to hear from you. Was this relationship goals or, I think, total disaster? You can vote in our Instagram polls or DM us your hot takes.
Next week, we are going to be continuing the 80s series with Can't Buy Me Love. Woohoo! With Patrick Dempsey and the rest in peace Amanda Peterson.
Make sure...
That's sad, but yes.
Make sure to follow, subscribe, and leave a review if you love what we do. It helps us bring more rom-com magic and real talk your way.
Because at the end of the day,
we believe that we create our own happily ever afters and respect people's boundaries and don't play the boombox on their front lawn.
Unless it's Peter Gabriel, then it's totally okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you soon.
Oh, you're funny.